Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm super excited because we are going to do the demo and review for Pat McGrath Labs Skin Fetish Sublime Perfecting Concealer. This is a concealer that I've been wanting to try for a long time. I did also for fun pick up the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfecting Blurring Under Eye Powders as well. I got two of those. I'll show you the little component. It comes in kind of this little plastic thing with a bunch of sequins. For some reason, I just find this really cute. And it caught my eye, so I had to try it. So let's start with the information about the concealer. So this is the concealer. This is the cartridge it comes in. It tells you the color at the top. This is L7. And what else can it say? It says that it is a weightless, full coverage, high performance concealer, fragrance free, and tested on the runway. It also is $34. It comes in 33 shades, and it's a radiant matte finish and helps brighten the under eye. It's creamy, lightweight, and full coverage. It has, when you open it, this kind of interesting flicked up doe foot. Not super big, not super small, but I think it's pretty efficient. It has a really nice seal inside the component, and it is glass. I do really like that this is glass as well. So that's the concealer. We will briefly talk about the Skin Fetish Sublime Powder Perfecting Under Eye. That's a mouthful, right? So they're these cute little domed powders, and then I got two colors because I wasn't sure which one I was interested in most. The light, which is considered translucent, no color, and then I got the yellow. I like a brighter under eye, so I got both of these just because I wanted to test them out and see what they were about. I figured if I was going to do the concealer, I should test it with her powder too, right? With that being said, these powders come in 4 shades. There's also a medium and a deep shade as well, but I just got the 2 because those would be the 2 that I would be interested to use. They are kind of a domed powder, like that baked powder sort of thing. It's interesting because when you touch them with your finger, it's weird because it's like little to no product actually comes off of it. So that is kind of interesting and I think makes this powder special. I think if you're someone who suffers with setting your under eyes, I think this will kind of fix that because it's kind of a barely there, no there powder thing, and you're either gonna love that or you're gonna hate it. And I've tested it quite a few times and I'm kind of on the fence of if I love it or if I hate it or if it works or if it doesn't. I'm gonna grab my mirror so I can start and do the demo for you guys. I am gonna use the Huda Beauty corrector. I want you guys to be able to see how the concealer works itself. I will say this is a full coverage concealer. I have been testing it for a while. I always test everything for a while before I talk about it, so I can be really 100% with my thoughts on the product. Right off the bat, I do like the color. I will say when I was looking at the colors online, it was a little more difficult. If you can go in stores that somewhere actually carries it, it would be easier, but I've been waiting forever for Ulta to get this, and so I just decided to order it. Can you guys see how much that really kind of brightened that up immediately? So what I have noticed about this concealer is you have to work super quickly. It dries really fast. So I definitely think if you're someone who likes to put your, do one eye at a time, it will probably be best with this concealer opposed to trying to do them both at the same time. Unless you are really fast at blending out, it will probably dry on you before you're ready. All right. So I'm comfortable with that level of coverage. I might do a little more on my one eye just because I tend to have more darkness on the left side. So I'm going to do a little more here. There we go. Definitely brightened me up. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. Now that that is on, I'm going to take, this is the Sephora, the Pro Crease Brush. I like this for doing my setting. It's just something I like using. So I'm going to do one eye with the yellow and I'll do one eye with the translucent. like I said earlier, these powders are really interesting because not a whole lot of product comes off. Like you think it is, because like you can see it moving, but I'm telling you, when you put it on, it kind of does and feels like nothing. Typically powder, when you set, it will kind of have its own like finish, but when you use this one, don't know if the camera is picking that up well, but when you use this one, it's literally no change to the under eye. So I have mixed feelings about that. So I did the yellow one under the left eye, just so you guys know. And then I'm going to do the translucent over here on my right eye, just so you guys can kind of see. Like, I mean, I'm digging into that powder and you see it moving. So there's powder getting on the brush, but when you lay it down, there's literally no powder residue, like no set down. So if you're someone who suffers from really, really dry skin or has a hard time with under eye setting, you'll probably love, love, love this. For me, I just feel like it's not doing anything. I mean, I'm really packing it in there. And yeah, like the concealer is already set. Like it's pretty much already dry, but I set just so I don't crease later in the day. But I kind of don't know how I feel about the powder, because I think it would work for somebody with dry skin or somebody who doesn't like the powder feel under their eye, definitely. But for me, I still think I prefer my Givenchy Prism Libre, the Rose Shade 3 better. I feel like it gives just a nicer look. I'll do a little bit of this on this eye, just so you can kind of see that when I put this powder down, you see it. And that is more the look I'm after, where it looks fully set and it added a brightness to it. As where on the other eye, it doesn't, I mean, it doesn't even look set. It doesn't even really look like anything's changed. But the minute I add a different powder, because I prefer this one, it adds way more brightness under there and it just looks a little more set. I think these are great powders. I just don't think it's a powder that I'm gonna reach for, because I need to know that my makeup's set, and I like to have it look a little more powdered, especially because I wear a powder foundation with it. Hello guys, with the magic of YouTube, all my makeup is on. As you can see, this concealer looks really good under those eyes. It doesn't accentuate my lines any more than anything else, and it's not like creeping or gathering in the lines either. Overall, I really like this particular concealer, the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfecting Concealer from Pat McGrath. I like this. I like this a lot. I think it's a really good concealer. My only negative is it is a little dry, like it dries really fast. So if you're not quick at blending, it might not be the concealer for you. I also think if you don't want like a full coverage product, I don't think this is a concealer for you either. I need the tiniest bit, as you guys saw on camera. I don't use very much concealer. I know other people use a lot more than I do, and I could use more, but I want my skin to always look like my skin. I feel like the more concealer I put on, the worse it looks. That's just personal preference, and that's regardless of what brand or what type of concealer. But I definitely think this is a yes. I think this is a must try. I don't think if you have dry skin, you're gonna really like this. I think it is maybe too dry for dry skin. I think if you're combo oily, you will definitely like this. Back to the powders real quick. I do want to talk about these powders a little bit more. I get why people like this. I do. I just don't think it's for me. It's weird. It's like you're putting on a powder, but it feels like nothing. So I think maybe as my eyes start to mature and I have to pull farther and farther away from powder and regular setting, even though I know I need to set my makeup, I think these would be that option. I think if you're someone who struggles with powder, this is a must try. I do struggle with powder, but not nearly enough to be like, I'm in love with this, because it literally feels like nothing. I mean, can you guys even see it on my finger? Like barely, right? And then I put it on my hand and it's like it's not there. It's just, it's a very unique formula. It's really different, and I will give it a yes for that. I just don't think it's going to be my go-to grab for powder setting. I'm debating on you know, testing these out longer and longer and testing them with other concealers and seeing if I fall in love with them, I just think it's kind of weird. Like the whole point of powder is to set, right? I do think it sets the under eye, but typically when it sets, I'm looking for more brightening and blurring and not just setting. So I don't really think it blurred anything for me. It's just kind of like it was there, but it wasn't there. So I guess that's a good thing. So it wasn't adding texture or weight or anything like that. So keep that in mind with these Skin Fetish Sublime Perfecting Blurring Under Eye Powders. I don't really think it blurred. It just didn't add any extra texture. So I think that is great and a win for a powder product, especially for under the eye. A lot of them just add a ton of texture under there. So I think it's cool for that. I just don't know if I love it. And to be honest, out of both the colors, I think the yellow would be my favorite. I think translucent did like nothing for me whatsoever. So I definitely think yellow would be the one I would keep over time. It's just weird because it's like, this one adds a little hint of brightness, as where the translucent added nothing really at all. It was there, but it wasn't there. So if you want a little something, I would say go with the yellow shade. I think it's going to help brighten you up, especially if you're light to medium skin tone, like my skin tone. If you are lighter than me, you probably will just want to go with a translucent. Otherwise, I think this will look too dark on your face. But I have other yellow powders and they look similar, but they just don't perform the same. So like for instance, the Shade and Light contour powder, ignore my pan because he's very dirty and gross, but this is their yellow brightening powder. So I'll swatch them both. Let's try to get a decent swatch here so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. Okay, so on these two fingers, they look, you know, you can already tell this one's sheer, which is the Pat McGrath, and then this one has more pigment, which is the KVD. But when I swatch them, mind you, my hand's like real dry, like real dry. It's weird because you see them here. So this is the Pat McGrath, and then this is the Shade and Light. So it's just like, it's not displaying any texture really from either one. It's funny because the brightening powder from KVD melts right in, as where the other one you can see it more on my hand. But I'm telling you, when you put it under your eye, you don't really see it. So I just think it's kind of interesting. It's a product we're gonna have to try for a lot longer and test it with other concealers and see if I like it better with just maybe a different concealer, or if it's something that grows on me over time. But if you have dry under eyes and you don't like the look of powder under your eyes, these are it. You want to try these. For me, I do think the concealer is great. I think you should try it. If you have dry skin, I probably wouldn't recommend it just because I think it might look a little drier on you. But overall, really good concealer. And I like the coverage on it. I'm kind of into this weird luminous matte thing right now, and it's really working for me, and I am enjoying it. And this might be one I'm going to add to my collection as well. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I post a new video every Tuesday, and that description box will always be my Instagram for daily posts, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.